This is the Self-Aware Leader Podcast. Now your host, Jason Rigby.
Why do we always, and I'm using the word always, seem to not fully understand when things are going good, how we self-sabotage it? Why is it when the relationship's going good, everybody's doing fine, we create some drama? What is this paradox? And, not only do I want to talk today about what it is, I also want to talk about how we can see it, how we can have it notify us, what we can do with it, and then how we can alchemize it to make it self-aware, a learning, a meditative process. A lot of people think meditation, side rant, a lot of people think meditation is something that you have to do. You have to sit there for 20, 30 minutes. If you're practicing self-aware leadership practices daily, that's a form of meditation. It's getting out of your ego, getting out of the lower self, and focusing on the higher self. So when we have a personal struggle, when we have something that we look at, we overcome, there's almost, and Christianity talks about this, how Satan, he always hits you whenever you're at the highest. That's when the sabotage comes, right? That's when, pride comes before a fall. We all look at that and we can go through each religion and understand and know that there's these warning signs. When prosperity hits, watch out. What is this self-sabotage? And why are we our own worst enemies? For psychologists, this is a puzzle. In the spiritual realm, it's a conundrum. I feel it's rooted in our misconceptions, our misperceptions, and fears. Because anything that is not love, I want you guys to get this. This is really, really important. Anything that is not love is not real. The only thing that is real, that is truth, is love. So if you are not loving, if you are not aligning with love, then that is an illusion. So self-sabotage to me is a manifestation of our belief in these illusions. We're believing in fear, we're believing in doubt, we're believing in these false self-identities, these shadow, Carl Jung talks about the shadow, the archetypes. We're believing in those. And so this is the manifestation of our belief. Because those are illusions, because it's not real. Your fear is not real. Your doubt is not real. And majority of the time we find out after we've screwed things up that it's not real. This is so important, guys. I want you to get this. It is a manifestation. Your self-sabotage is a manifestation of illusions, a belief in illusions. It's like when you were a little kid and you knew the monster was in that closet and it got your heart to race. Physically, you changed your body. You were sweating. You were nervous. You were shaking. You can remember this as a little kid because you knew you heard a monster in the closet. Then your parents would come and open the closet and there'd be nothing there, right? Physically, you screwed yourself over, didn't you? Mentally, you fucked yourself over also, didn't you? It is an illusion. Just as that monster in the closet, your self-sabotage, your beliefs, these doubts that you have, these fears that you have, the self-identities, the false self-identities you have, all those are an illusion. The only thing that's true is harmony and love. So you can look at this and say, am I out of alignment in love? Am I being loving right now or am I being fear? The Bible talks about this, that the opposite of love is fear and the opposite of fear is love. So that gives you a good indication. If you're self-aware enough, you're like, this is just me. I'm flexing in fear. That's what I say. I'm just trying to flex in fear. My ego's flexing right now. Little Jason, because my higher self, big Jason, the right Jason, the true Jason, the higher self, he doesn't care about that. He just loves and serves and wants the best for everyone. He doesn't have an agenda, a conspiracy theory, a judgment on anyone. So Your higher self is operating in harmony. Your higher self is working on evolving and developing your inner self. So self-sabotage occurs when we're out of alignment with our inner wisdom and higher purpose. Now, I'm getting spiritual here, guys, but I think this is really important principle here. Inner wisdom and higher purpose. The inner wisdom that you have, those things that you get that it's like, oh shit, I just came up with that. That's a great idea. That's your higher self talking to you. You can get those all the time if you can communicate with your higher self. And your higher purpose. What are you put here? I believe that every single person, was universe, God, whatever, every single person has been put on this universe for a specific service to other mission. What is that? What is your specific higher purpose in service to others in love? Where you're jazzed, where you're absolutely at the best that you can be mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. You're at a 10. That's your higher purpose. And everyone around you is influenced and feels amazing when they're around you. So when you're not in your higher purpose, when you're not in alignment, and when you start to, these fears creep up, these negative thoughts, they creep up, that allows you to see a sign. Like you're driving on the freeway and you see the exit sign. That's what's happened. Here I was going for my higher self. I'm on the highway of higher self. Oh, there's an exit. I got led astray. Now I'm going into this stupid neighborhood that I've never been in and I don't want to be there. So allow your instinct, your spiritual instinct, to look at the misunderstanding about your, not just your true nature, but the misunderstanding of why you feel like you need to be led astray, why you need to let the ego take over now. And the reason it is usually because of fear. The root cause of most things that people do, look at war, look at everything, look at politics, look at everything going on right now. It's fear-based. It's based and rooted in fear. So catching self-sabotage, it requires self-awareness. That's what this podcast is about. And you have to look at it when it's subtle. It's that negative thought you keep thinking about the same person, and it's kind of like, screw him. I don't want to deal with him. But I'm thinking about every few hours, or I'm thinking about him every day. That's your higher self is telling you something here. You're having a negative thought about this person, and you're dwelling on it. That's only going to make it worse. Next is acts of procrastination. What are you procrastinating on that you know your higher self would want you to do? Here's self-sabotage. So I'm hating my brother or sister, and our brother or sister is everyone in the world because we're all created from God, right? So we're all equal. We're all one. I believe in oneness. And so not only do we have that negative thought towards someone, we're being divisive, we're being judgmental, whatever it is. This person did this to me. No one can do anything to you, and I'll explain that in a second. But now you have this act of procrastination. Or you have a feeling of unworthiness, and this gets everybody. If you're feeling unworthy, your ego has tricked you to hijack and take over. So it's like your higher self, your lower self. Your lower self is the ego. It's the reptilian mind. It's the evolution. We got to run from cheetahs in the savannah. We got to fight for everything. Screw everybody. Let's just try to make it claw and scratch our way to the top. That's the ego. It always wants you to feel unworthy because it knows that fear motivates you. Most people get motivated by fear. Put enough fear under somebody, the fear of missing out. That's all of marketing, right? This feeling of unworthy. You would be complete if you had this. Isn't that the marketing message? If you only had this, then you would feel happy. It's the feeling of unworthiness. I want to get into a little bit before we close. What is your true goal? Do you have those? I mean, this is 2024. Do you have those so written down and so memorized that somebody could walk up to you? I had somebody do this the other day. What are you doing for 2024? What's going on in your life for 2024? I was able to rattle it off. Boom. Mentally, here's where I'm at. Physically, here's where I'm at. Spiritually, here's where I'm at. Here's what I'm working on. Here's where I want to evolve. Are you in line with your true goals? That's crucial. If you're not reflecting on the actions that you need to do for your goals and being in alignment with that, your lower self is going to pull you back into that. The higher self wants to look at you and be like, yes, let's evolve. That's what we do. So, overcoming self-sabotage. Forgiveness is a path to inner peace. If you can learn to forgive yourself first, forgive all the shit that you've done in your past, understand that the things that you did were not aligned in love, they were based out of fear, it's just a misperception. That's all it is. Stop dwelling on the action, what you did. And God talks about this, in the Bible, he talks about this, what sin is. It's missing the mark, right? It's missing the mark. Here's where your higher self wanted to go, and I went this way instead. It's a misperception of who I really am. Accept your imperfections. Understand it's you evolving, and that takes time. I believe it takes many, many meat suits. And then begin to practice forgiveness for yourself. Understand that forgiveness is just you being in alignment with who you are, you being in alignment with love, that if we are one, then no one can do anything to you. No one, that thing that you think somebody did something horrible. I had somebody steal $76,000 with a business that we were starting together. Cash in the bank. Took it. Gone. I felt that he did something to me, but it's him that did something to himself. He's in jail now. Not because of me. He did other stuff. This is crazy, guys. Think about this. When somebody does something that you feel is to you, they're actually doing it to them. And that's a learning lesson that they're going to have to go through. And the learning lesson that you have to go through is you perceiving that you're a victim. Because no one's a victim here. I should have done more research. I should have checked this guy out more. We went to Vegas and we had some fun. We got to know each other. I'm not talking like crazy fun. We were in bed by like 9:30 at night. We did a lot of talk. We talked about business, and I went off of a hunch. I didn't research anything. You can't have people that aren't good at business, that you haven't researched, that doesn't have a track record, and think that you can go in business with them and things will be fine. It doesn't work that way. When you begin to focus on your higher purpose, when you begin to align with your higher purpose, then you can begin to focus on what you truly desire. What do you desire that has love in it? Do you desire a relationship? You want to have a relationship with someone that's based on true love? Be the person that person wants. The person that you want to have, work on yourself, evolve yourself. Don't play victim. No one wants a victim in a relationship. Focus on your spiritual goals. Focus on your true desires. Move away from these self-destructive patterns. Because you know what? Alignment, and this is for 2024 for me, alignment brings clarity. It brings a sense of directions. And when you have clarity and you have a direction and you're disciplined and you have a purpose and you're willing to continue to learn and grow, and you understand that this is a personal development, that it's a journey that you're going through, you will reduce the chances of self-sabotage. Embrace the journey with patience, but not just be patient and procrastinate. Embrace the journey with patience and perseverance. And I encourage each of you, forgive yourself. The mistakes that you made were learning lessons. Learn from them. Go back and write down what you learned from that. Yes, I cheated on her. What does that look like? Yes, I was an asshole to this person in business. Yes, I didn't show up at work and I was late all the time and I got fired. Why? Why did you do that? You know that you were not in alignment with your higher purpose. You will begin to unravel these self-defeating patterns, and you will have a journey towards self-awareness, spiritual growth. And I guarantee you, each small step forward, guys, listen to this. Each small step forward is a victory. It's a victory over self-sabotage.
Thank you for tuning in to the Self-Aware Leader Podcast with host Jason Rigby. We hope this episode has inspired you to unleash your full potential and embrace your inner leadership. By expanding your consciousness, you can transform your mind, body, and soul and become the remarkable leader you were always meant to be. If you found this episode valuable, please share it with your loved ones and help us expand our community. Thank you for listening, and we look forward to having you join us again on the Self-Aware Leader Podcast.